The Ducks. Probably one of the most talked about teams in college football today. If we aren't talking about their play on the field, we are talking about the 5,000 fucking uniforms they wear during a season. Yeah, it's nice when the CEO of Nike is a graduate, isn't it? You know what those uniforms and donor dollars can't buy? National championships. In its entire existence, Oregon has never won a national championship in college football. They have been damn close a few times, but either due to being incompetent, screwed over by their conference, screwed over by the NCAA, or just straight up getting dumpstered on the field, they haven't been able to find a way to get the job done. So with that said, welcome back to Story Time with Red. And just like I did to West Virginia, I'm about to open up a cold one, grind some axes, and make an entire fan base want my head on a pike. Grab your rifles. It's duck season, boys. Cal Young, the pioneer of Oregon football, and would eventually become known as Mr. Eugene, began a football team at the University of Oregon after playing a few games in Portland. The only game played in 1894 was a game against Albany Collegiate, now known as Lewis and Clark College. Winning the game 44-2, it would be the only game he coached as well. Percy Benson comes in the next year and leads you to your first unbeaten season in school history. Nice work. Granted, you went 4-0 while Penn and Yale won a combined 27 games without a loss, but hey, that cheap conference pennant y'all won is nice, right? Sadly, your team would be kind of mid the next few seasons as you would burn through coaches like they were cigarettes. Okay, we need a new head coach once again who's stepping up to the plate. Wait, Hugo Bezdek? Isn't he a baseball guy? Well, he might suck at this, but we're just mid every year, so why not? Holy shit, 5-0. God damn, he could do it all. Hugo, please stick around and coach us next year. We would become one of the best. What do you mean he left for Arkansas? The only notable thing you did in this period was nuke the Puget Sound 115-0 for no good reason. I don't know what they did to piss you off, but Jesus fucking Christ, guys. Was it because Hugo left you all for fat pigs and smoked hams? After years on the coaching carousel, Hugo Bezdek finally returns and takes over for his second stint at the helm. Welcome back, Hugo. Now please save our team. Hugo builds the Ducks into a powerhouse and went undefeated. Until you played Washington, where you dragged your feet to a 0-0 tie. I mean, it's fine though. Overall, you had a better record and should still win the conference. Except you got busted for cheating by using ineligible players. Look, I know it's 1916, but for fuck's sake, could you be a little less obvious? Washington wins the conference as a result, and a trip to the Rose Bowl, so just go sit in the fucking corner and think about what you did. Yeah? Really? How? What do you mean that they didn't want to pay for train tickets? We're playing who? Fine. Despite the scandal, you were still allowed to go to the Rose Bowl anyways because a round-trip ticket from Seattle to LA back then was just too damn expensive for Washington. Who cares? You'll get blown out by Penn anyways. I don't believe it. You shocked the young college football world and shut out Penn in a season that featured you going undefeated, losing your conference title to a cheating scandal, and only making it to Pasadena on a budgeting error by Washington. You've slain one of the Ivy League Goliaths. You may be cheating sacks as shit, but this is the greatest moment in team history. I'm sure this is the first of many Rose Bowl wins to come. Right? After Hugo was lured away by Penn State, your new coach Shai Huntington leads you back to the Rose Bowl. Get it done, boys. Wait, you're playing Harvard? In the first Rose Bowl played since the U.S. entered World War I, it was a defensive dogfight of a game. In the second quarter, Oregon got out to an early field goal lead, but a 13-yard touchdown run by Aiden Casey would put the Crimson out in front. Oregon would kick another goddamn field goal to get within one, but despite multiple drives into field goal range, 3 field goal attempts were blocked and 1 outright missed. Harvard would win the game 7-6. While there were multiple claims in 1919 for it, this Harvard team would be officially declared co-national champions years later. Way to go, guys! This loss gave your athletic department some PTSD as you promptly spend the next 2 decades trying to compete with the big boys by hiring well-known coaches from the East Coast. It failed miserably, and the Ducks couldn't escape the deadly grips of mediocrity. Frank Calliston would break the cycle this season with a breakout 9-1 record and a shared conference title with Stanford. However, Pasadena decides to invite Stanford to the Rose Bowl over you. I would say it's unjust because both teams were shut out in their losses, but Stanford lost 6-0 to Washington and beat USC on the road, while you got destroyed by USC 26-0 at USC. I'd say that's fair. Callison retires and is replaced by Tex Oliver, who was not good at all. Welcome back to hell. After a decade of shit coaches, shit records, and a shit war, Jim Aiken would lead the Ducks back to relevance with a 9-1 season. So you're going to Pasadena, right? Nope, not at all. You and California finished tied in the standings, and despite being in the same conference, you didn't play each other this year, which is a pretty big fucking error. So to resolve this tie, a secret ballot by conference leaders would pick who to send. They sent Cal to the Rose Bowl. It wasn't even close. Sure, you got fucked out of this, but it's not all bad. In a break from tradition, the PCC allowed you to play in the Cotton Bowl as a consolation prize. I wonder who your opponent was. You got annihilated by Doak fucking Walker and the SMU Mustangs. No hard feelings though, right? After the hot start, Jim Aiken never got over the loss and in just 2 years turned the Ducks from potential contenders into target practice for the entire conference. He was promptly thrown into the Pacific Ocean for his crimes. Len Casanova becomes coach and slowly rebuilds your asses from the ground up. Dolja was slow, but congratulations, you won the conference title and have a berth in the Rose Bowl for the first time in 30 years. No cheating, no secret ballots, no bullshit. You have earned this. It is your moment. Now why do I hear boss music? Music you heard was coming from head coach Woody Hayes and the Ohio State Buckeyes. Despite putting up a tough fight, you were no match for the Buckeyes and lost 10-7. I'm sure this won't happen again, right? You fall back into irrelevance for a few years, then reappear randomly in the Liberty Bowl. I would say great job, but Penn State butchered your asses 41-12. 3 years later, you finally won a fucking bowl game. Only took you 5 decades. I'd be impressed that you beat SMU, but they were 4-6 for God's sake. They shouldn't have even been there. Casanova retires to the athletic offices, which then ushers in the new era of Coach Jerry Fry. While Casanova wasn't that great, he still did a lot in his tenure. No pressure. Jerry would quickly trash the damn place and was replaced by Dick Enright after years of failure. Okay, uphill from here, right?
On this roof. It's burning this shit.
Nope, he promptly set the house on fire. Dick is sent packing within 2 years. What about this Don Reed guy? He's a Northwest football veteran. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so we're going to hire this guy named Rich Brooks. Look, I know he's from Oregon State, but he's got NFL experience. Not as a head coach, but he did serve under Dick Nolan's 49ers. That counts for something, right? We're just going to let him do whatever he wants. We have full confidence in him. We will check back in about 10 years. Six and 5 was the absolute best. Does this school even give a shit? Oh, he beats your brother in mediocrity Oregon State on a regular basis? What about the other games? You were even thrown on probation and handed a bowl ban by the NCAA for Brooks's recruiting violations in 1980. Why in the fuck is he still here exactly? Do you have Stockholm Syndrome? 8-4 and beat Tulsa for the Independence Bowl. Alright, I guess a decade of bad experience became good experience at this point, but can you continue to improve? Alright, another 8-4 season. I wouldn't call that improvement, but back-to-back bowl wins would be nice if you had won the bowl game. We're gonna suck now because our best players are graduating, aren't we? Fuck. Maybe we should fire Brooks. Wait, we did it?
Oh no! We suck again!
Yep, you suck again. You even went 6-6, found a back door into the Independence Bowl, and lost a heartbreaker to Wake Forest in '92 just to punch your fans in the dick. When the hell will it end? Why the fuck does Brooks still have a job? You went 9-3, a definite improvement, but not legendary. Thing is, the entire Pac-10 decided to phone it in all season, and you went 7-1 in conference play, which wins you your first outright Pac-10 conference title. Congratulations, Ducks. You are going back to Pasadena. Hey, look, it's Penn State.
At the 16-yard line, it is first down for the Lions, with Milne and Kajana Carter lined up in the backfield. Brady Scott is the man in motion. Here's Carter. And breaks it. He's gone. Goodbye. It'll be touchdown, Penn State, first play of the ball game.
And you lost to them. Look, they were number 2 in the nation. If it wasn't for the shitty bowl lines, they could have won the national championship that season. What's worse is, right as you began to get good, Brooks decided to pack his shit and fuck off for the NFL. All of those years of mediocrity and the man who led you all the way is gone. Good fucking riddance. In response, Oregon decides to elevate their offensive coordinator Mike Bellotti rather than look to hire outside for another coach. Look, every other strategy they've tried at this point has failed, so let's see if this is any different. Bellotti single-handedly undoes decades of mediocrity in a few short years, from barely hitting 500 to consistently making and even winning a couple bowl games. This is a level of success never before seen in Eugene. Surely the promised land is upon the horizon. Alright, look, a Rose Bowl bid and outright Pac-10 title is on the line. Yes, you lost to Wisconsin early in the year, so a natty really isn't in view, but a Rose Bowl berth would be just as good. Don't blow it.
A few moments later.
Unfortunately, this was one of those few years the Beavers were actually good. You lost the Civil War and have to split the Pac-10 championship. Instead of roses in Pasadena, you get Texas and San Diego.
Jagged, 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 jack. Spanking it, spanking it, smacking it, smack. Jagged it, jagged it, jagged it, jack. Jagged it, spanking it, spanking it, smack.
You rectify last season's disappointment and roar to your first 11-win season in program history. Quarterback Joey Harrington is a Heisman finalist. AP poll has you ranked at number 2 in the nation, and you are projected to be heading to the BCS National.
Own it!
What the fuck do you mean the BCS placed you guys 4th? Who went ahead of you? Nebraska? How? They didn't even win their conference. Hell, they didn't even play in the Big 12 title game. Oh, wait. I explained all this in my BCS video a while back, but to sum it up, they were left out because the BCS computers were really bad at the one thing they were created to do: determine the teams that were most deserving of the national championship. Miami would later rout Nebraska in the title game, proving the BCS to be absolutely fucked. It was so fucking bad, they had to go back and change the algorithm, so this kind of shit wouldn't happen again. Spoiler alert, it still sucked balls afterwards. Look, if you want a silver lining to this story, you got to beat the shit out of Colorado and win your first major bowl game in almost a century. That's a great accomplishment, and nobody could take that away, but the BCS did to you what the PCC did in 1948, just with computer technology and not secret ballots. You were probably denied your true destiny by factors completely outside of your control. What a shame. You would flop around like a dead fish for the next few years, barely making bowl games and losing every single one. All that promise you had in 2001 evaporated into thin air, and all hope seemed lost in Eugene. Celebrate your misery by wearing some of the most god-awful alternate uniforms in college football. Oh, and this.
Here and a crack there, amidst the smoke of what looked like a dinosaur egg, Donald's twin, obviously not identical by the way, was born.
Enjoy the nightmare fuel. This is the second worst bird mascot I've seen come out of an egg. 10-3 in a Holiday Bowl win later, and you are back on the cusp of contention. However, Bellotti won't stick around for the ride as he retires. Whoops. Welcome your new head coach, Chip fucking Kelly. He comes out and builds upon the foundation laid by Bellotti and promptly gets all the fucking credit for the success of his first season. Despite a loss to Stanford, you still win out and clinch a Pac-10 championship. You're going back to Pasadena again. That's the good news. The bad news is Ohio State was waiting for you and exposes Chip Kelly horribly on defense. Ohio State beat your asses easily. Ducks go 12-0 and finish the season number 2 in the nation. This time, the BCS doesn't fuck you over. You're going to the national championship. Okay, look, it's 16-11 at the half, and somehow Auburn even got a fucking safety on you. There is still time to shift momentum.
Fumble! And they've got it. Harris jumps on it.
He realizes he's got to make a play. He comes all the way from the backside against Cam Newton and did exactly what we just showed with Antoine Carter against Alabama.
Michael James goes far to the left. They come back underneath and a great grab for a first down. Davis is smacked at the 10-yard line. Touchdown, Oregon. Michael James.
That's what I'm fucking talking about. Maybe Chip Kelly isn't a hack after all.
Dyer, the freshman, is wrestled down at the 46-yard line. Pleasant, and he gets back up. Dyer gets back up. Was he not on the ground? Did he stay on top of Pleasant? The Ducks are saying, wait a minute, he was down.
What? You had him. You had him down and let him go? What the fuck happened to waiting for the whistle? Thanks to that blunder, Auburn is in field goal territory and the Tigers are setting up to kick the game winner.
Auburn wins the BCS National Championship.
You come back the next year and win the inaugural Pac-12 title game. Sadly, we all know what's coming next. You get invited to Pasadena and get blown out by some Big Ten team. Wait, you didn't? You actually played up to your full potential. You finally won a fucking Rose Bowl? Holy shit. May the ghosts of Harvard and Ohio State be damned for eternity. The Ducks are fucking here to stay. You are number 1 in the nation and currently in a heated battle against number 14 Stanford. Your normally high-octane offense has been stymied by a wall of fucking trees. You still lead 14-7 in the fourth, just toughen up on defense.
Ertz hangs on. Oh my! No, they said it was down. Oh, what an effort over there by Zach Ertz. For the announcement.
After review, the receiver had control of the ball when he returned to the ground with his right shoulder. Touchdown.
I happen to agree.
Shit. Well, you can at least beat him in overtime.
Going to the left, the upright. No good.
You're joking, right?
Long enough for sure and good.
How? Everyone thought you were for real, and yet all it took was fucking Stanford to derail your season? Not USC, not Washington, Stanford. You only scored 14 points when you normally score 40. I know you are the Ducks, but you just laid the biggest damn egg to date. You not only lost the number 1 ranking, but also your spot in the Pac-12 championship. No national title for you. Instead, you get a consolation Fiesta Bowl routing over Kansas State. I would say it got better, but it really didn't. Chip Kelly would fuck off to a failed career in the NFL. The mastermind of your offense has taken his talents to South Philly for a mediocre career. Time to meet your new leader, Mark Helfrich. Helfrich has you guys firing right out of the gate. Wait a minute, hang on, I misread that. I mean, drunkenly stumbling into a pile of shit. You lost 2 games in 3 weeks to Arizona and Stanford yet again. And at least there's the Alamo Bowl, right? I mean, it was a rebuild year. You come back with Marcus Mariota and win Oregon's first ever Heisman on the way to the college football playoffs. You get to go to Pasadena and play the defending national champions in Florida State. The world watches the debut of the famous Jameis Bakery, with Florida State giving up 59 points to the Ducks. A dominant performance is sending you to Dallas and to the national championship. You were the clear and obvious favorites. Wait, you play Ohio State again? And you laid the biggest of eggs. Third-string quarterback Cardale Jones blasts you out of the sky with his 12-gauge shotgun of an arm, and Zeke Elliott enjoys the taste of roasted duck all the way to the end zone. We have discovered the great weakness of the Oregon Ducks. In Pac-12 play, where defense is historically like wet toilet paper, it pays to have an offense that can run up the score in dominant fashion. But the second the Ducks play a school with a top-of-the-line defense, the offense implodes like a badly built submarine. With your Heisman quarterback off to the NFL and no competent option at quarterback to replace him, you accept transfer quarterback from the FCS, Vernon Adams. He got injured in his first game, eh? Well, this season's fucked. Back to the Alamo Bowl.
It is even funnier the second time.
You race off to a 31-0 lead by halftime against TCU. Wait, excuse me 1 second. Why the fuck are we talking about the Alamo Bowl again? Like normal, I get it. It's a bowl game, but we normally skip this shit. Something happened. What do you mean something happened? Wait, they blow it? Oh, don't tell me this is the one where you gotta be fucking kidding. No, come on. You gotta be... Really? Really?
Kohlhauser, almost like an option-style play. He'll turn the corner. Touchdown. Keep the game going. And low snap, Rocky pressured. Stepping up, Rocky throws.
Knock, knock. Who's there? You'll blow it. You blew it who? You blew it bad.
TCU makes the largest comeback in bowl history and wins in overtime. You get no sympathy. Absolutely none. This is up there next to 28-3 in terms of the worst blown leads in football history. The only reason why it is not remembered as much is because you played in the fucking Alamo Bowl, which, ironically enough, is usually completely forgettable. But fuck you and your squad. This will never be forgotten if that means I need to shove this loss down your gizzards every fucking chance I get. You are once again target practice for the Pac-12, going 4-8 and giving up nearly 40 points a game. You even lost to fucking Oregon State, for God's sake. A complete collapse from the top of the mountain. Helfrich was promptly stoned for his crimes. You find a new coach in Willie Taggart, who has a cup of coffee, going 7-5 before promptly fucking off for Florida State after just one season. You also lost the Las Vegas Bowl to Boise State. Jesus fucking Christ. Can you guys find a little bit of stability here? You're really starting to lose it. Mario Cristobal picks up where Taggart left off and leads you to a 9-4 season. You even get a Red Box Bowl win over Michigan State for your efforts. Okay, it's still not great, but you're slowly starting to work your way back up. May have lost to Texas in week 1 and pissed yourselves against Arizona State, but still upset Utah to win the Pac-12 championship. Even better, you would go to Pasadena and win the damn Rose Bowl against Wisconsin. This is turning into a hell of a team. You need to be very optimistic about what's coming up. 2020 is looking like it's going to be the year of champions in the state of Oregon.
All right, one piece of cake coming up from my favorite cowgirl.
Is it your thumb or mine?
That's smoke, Janie. It's just a fire.
Look, COVID wrecked everything for everyone. Don't feel too special. At first, there was going to be no football at all as the Pac-12 canceled their season in August, yet reversed their decision a month later to allow a 7-game season to begin in November. Everything was completely fucked. You lost to Oregon State for the first time in years, couldn't even sniff at the playoffs because you couldn't smell anything after a case of COVID, and played 6 out of 7 games in total. The only silver lining was Washington had an outbreak of COVID so bad they couldn't field a team for the Pac-12 championship game, and so you got to go to Los Angeles and play USC, and somehow won the goddamn championship. Like I said, everything was fucked. I would say congrats, but you were promptly dumpstered in the Fiesta Bowl by Iowa State. Let's pretend this never happened and move the fuck on, please. Alright, with the pandemic in the rearview mirror and being ranked number 3 in the nation, it's time for the Ducks to cruise to the playoffs. You even beat Ohio State and Columbus and slayed that curse once and for all. Nothing can stop you now, except the wall of fucking trees. You lost to Stanford in fucking overtime again. They weren't even ranked this time. They finished second to last in the conference, for fuck's sake. You know what? It's fine. There are plenty of other teams falling above you, and that loss was probably just a fluke. Regroup and win out the rest of the season, and the playoffs should be yours.
That's pretty effective. And he's going to try to return it. Long line drive punt by Snee.
Got blown out by Utah, eh? Alright, playoff hopes are now completely dead, but you can still win the conference title.
Down. And Rising feeds it to him. That was easy.
Got blown out by Utah, eh? Alright, frankly, the only good thing that happened here is Mario Cristobal fucked off to Miami. Why?
Like, you should not be handing this football off. Right. I don't know what Miami is doing.
That's it. And here's Chaney. The straight ahead, tackled, and the ball popped out.
You got to read the clock. Read the card. To me,
Georgia Tech has it with 26 seconds left. Here's King from the pocket. Flush to his right with 6. 5. Going to loop it downfield. And ball is caught. Touchdown, Georgia Tech.
You're a moron, Morty.
Morty, you fucking idiot.
You're a serious idiot, Morty.
No reason. Now entering the firing squad is new head coach Dan Lanning. Coaching transitions are never smooth as you got blasted by Georgia opening week, upset by Washington in November, and upset once more by Oregon fucking State to rub salt in the wound. The Holiday Bowl lifts your spirits some as you defeated North Carolina, and you should have a promising 2023. So the Pac-12 fell apart like a house of cards after breaking Rule 0, not getting enough fucking money for a TV deal. Say it with me, kids. Money talks, bullshit walks. In the middle of the night somewhere in Las Vegas, you and Washington have a shotgun wedding with the Big Ten to move to their conference starting in 2024. That means this season will be the final season of the Pac-12 as we know it. You got one more chance to make the playoffs before you have to deal with Ohio State and Michigan next year. Not to mention your Heisman caliber quarterback Bo Nix is guaranteed to be heading for the NFL. It is now or never. Sadly, it was also now or never for Washington, who, after an absolute war in Seattle, defeated you by a field goal. Tough break, but your spot in the rankings barely changed, and you went on to win out and reach the final Pac-12 championship with a spot in the playoffs at stake against... You lost to Washington again, eh? Fuck it, take your anger out on Liberty in the Fiesta Bowl. Well, what I could say about Oregon is pretty much their history has only improved over time. Yes, I rail hard against the Ducks, and rightfully so. Some of the shit we saw in this video is pretty fucking bad. However, there is no denying that the 2024 Oregon Ducks could possibly be the best ever. Let's start with the obvious. Dylan Gabriel transferred from Oklahoma to come to you guys. He's one of the top quarterbacks in college football coming into this season. He's a great replacement for Bo Nix. Your wide receiver core is stacked with Evan Stewart, Tez Johnson, Trayshawn Holden, and Gary Bryant being the stars in that rotation. For once, you actually have a defense that's worth a damn, getting 34 sacks last season. So what is there to say about Oregon? It is a team that has always been on this cusp of being legendary, being great, yet always finds a way to crash out of the sky at the last possible moment. I think that Dan Lanning has put together a hell of a squad for this upcoming season and could honestly run the table and get top spot in the college football playoffs. But with the 12-team format coming this season, and with everything changing in college football, not to mention your schedule includes the likes of Ohio State and Michigan, the defending national champions, it's not going to be an easy road. But if you win out and you go undefeated this season, you'll be damn deserving of a shot at that national championship. But for now, what else is there to say? The O means 0 in the number of national championships.
Oh, he's
And
going
the
in the end
duck.
zone.
More push-ups.
He didn't even wait for his landing pad.
And it's a modern era program record for points in a game. 546 push-ups now for the Ducks. Ducks take ice baths.
Wow. Probably not.
What are the chances the Duck can actually lift their arms tomorrow?
Slim to none because he can't even give a hug. Come on, Puddles. Come on, get up. Look, man,
Quick, where's a Theragun, please? 2:04 to go.